The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 184.
Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of courageous women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Want to learn how you can change your inner beliefs and attitudes? Download a free copy of the ebook by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady who's also from my city of Toronto. She is an entrepreneur, and she's here today to share her story of self-confidence. And, I'm just grateful to have her on. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Mhay Tuazon. Mhay, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hey, Sheena. I'm good, thanks. Okay, so my name is Mhay Tuazon, and I'm from sort of like half an hour away from Toronto. I'm from the city of Brampton. And I am married with 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old little girl and a 10-year-old boy. I used to have like a full-time job, but then I decided that it's been a long dream of mine to just, stay at home with my kids. So that's what I'm doing now, pursuing my dream.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Mhay, what's your cultural background?
I am Filipino. Coming from the Philippines, I was born and raised in the Philippines, and then I came to Canada when I was 16. And then so I practically grew up here, and I've been here more than half of my life. So I would say I'm very adapted to our culture here in Canada.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Mhay, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Well, growing up, I didn't really have a self-confidence quote, but I'm going to share with you something that it's a motto that I've always, ever since I saw it when I was, I think, 11, it's stuck in my head, and it goes like, if others can, why can't I? So I've always believed in that ever since. So if I see someone doing something great, if I see someone succeeding, I always ask myself, okay, what's so special about them that I can't do it, right? So I always try to kind of do my best at whatever it is I try to do, just because I know that, we are all created equal, right? So if one person has the ability to do it, the only thing that would stop me from ever achieving anything would be my own willingness and my own self-confidence in doing it. But to share with you a quote, I found one from Samuel Johnson. It goes like, self-confidence is the first requisite to great undertakings. And that I truly believe, just because if you don't really believe in yourself, there's really nothing much that you would even try doing.
Awesome. And that's a great quote. And it's true, right? I mean, everyone, we all started at the same stage with no knowledge of whatever it is we want to pursue. And they always say, a master was once a disaster. And if you can see someone who's out there doing it and, achieving something, what makes you different from them? The only difference is they're willing to take the action and go through the hurdles and, to get to the other side. So,
for sure, yes.
I love that. And thanks for sharing that quote. And, in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Well, for me, it's having the courage to actually follow your heart. Because for me, when I started, there's just so many things that I wanted to do. But at the same time, at first I thought that I had the confidence, but then the only thing missing for me was the action part. And it was then that I realized it was self-confidence that was missing from me. That's the main reason that I wasn't taking any action. Just because when you think of it, if you have that confidence in yourself, you won't, nothing will stop you from ever achieving that something. So for you to have the courage to just get up and do it and, kind of build that self-confidence in you, have that self-confidence in yourself, then, it would allow you to kind of continue on to pursue whatever it is you're after.
Awesome. And it's a great definition that you mentioned. I love when you said, follow your heart. And some people forget that, right? I mean, if there's something that you're passionate about, I mean, I think the universe or whoever it is you believe in is giving you a sign to go to that direction. So great stuff. Mm-hmm. And Mhay, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Well, before I was just, the average person. I would just go to work. It's kind of like, you kind of feel like a robot. You're kind of like, if you wake up in the morning, you go to work, and then, before you get to work, you kind of get stuck in traffic, and then you spend all day behind a desk or doing some routine thing like every single day. And then for, like over time, it kind of felt like, to me, it didn't feel like life, because it wasn't really something that excited me. It was something that there was nothing to it that brought me to life. So it was then that I realized, there's got to be something more, because at the same time, deep down, I feel like I'm meant to do more. Like I'm meant to be more, right? So for me to be doing the same type of job, like day in, day out, it felt like I wasn't living on purpose. So it was then that I kind of do some soul searching. I really had to think about it. Like, even meditation, I really got into meditation just because they said that if you calm your mind, if you quiet your mind, you will hear that voice within and that it will guide you. So I got into meditation just so I can find my real purpose.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. So, what was that point in your life when you realized, you can do something that's purposeful and, you don't have to be stuck at a 9-to-5 job? Because we've all been there. I've been there. I would sit on my desk in my little cubicle thinking, there has to be more than life than just coming in, day out, Monday to Friday, being stuck in traffic, going through like work politics. There just has to be something more. So what was that aha moment in your life?
Before, I would always just think to myself, I'm meant to do more. I know that there's so much more in me. Like, I feel like I have so much more in me that I can give. But at the same time, I didn't really have that push to kind of make me do something about it. I would just think about it and think about it. But it wasn't until I had my first child. So what happened was, okay, so I had my first child. He was 3 months old. And at the time, my husband was laid off, and also I was on mat leave. And at the time, I had to go out and get some work. And so the pain that I felt having to leave my 3-month-old baby behind just so I can make some money to support our family, that was like a wake up call for me. It was then that I realized, what, that's it. So, that was the push that I was talking about. It's something that pushed me to really getting up and doing something. I started on working on myself, working on my mindset, just because like I said earlier, I would always think about making a change. I would always I would always dream about it. But at the same time, I never really got around to doing anything about it. But it was then that I had my 3-month-old boy, and I had to go through that emotional pain that woke me up. So that was my biggest aha moment.
Awesome. And, sometimes it might have to take something like having a child to realize, you want something better for your kids. So you're willing to do whatever it takes to, not only provide yourself a better life, but to also show them what's possible. So, and after that, aha moment, what's your life been like now?
The shift in my mindset, it's really changed a lot for me. Because the thing is, right now, I'm not only thinking of myself because I have my kids too, right? So for me, after that discovery, I'm now thinking into the future. The thing is, for me, like, I want my kids to grow up seeing me as a role model, hopefully, that, because I want to show them that when they grow up, they can follow their heart. They can do whatever will make them happy, that they're not, because I know that now they say that when you go to school, they kind of train you how to become an employee, right? So for them, I want them to grow up and look at me, because what I'm doing now is I want to do something that makes me feel fulfilled, something that makes me feel happy. So if they can grow up seeing me not being stuck on a miserable job, I want them to see that and grow up that they too can do that. I want them to believe in themselves, and want them to just really find whatever it is that they're really going to fall in love with and do that. Even if, if they want to do that for the rest of their life, if it makes them happy, if it makes them feel fulfilled, then, I'm all in, I'm in full support.
Awesome. And I know you'll be a great role model for your kids because you're already doing it already, showing them that, you don't have to work 9 to 5
Thank
to
you.
get to live the life that you want, right? So,
Yeah.
Mhay, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
I would say to never, ever, ever give up on yourself. Because, you're going to go through a lot of challenging times. And I know that there's a lot of women out there, or a lot of women out there who are in a relationship. And sometimes, a lot of times, not all the spouses are supportive, right? But then I would just say that it's your dream, right? So if you are going to give up on your dream just because your spouse is not supportive, you only live once. You don't want to live your life with regret. Because I keep hearing this when I go to, or when I listen to, when I watch seminars or attend seminars and stuff, they would always say, when you're in your deathbed, what are you going to be regretting, right? Do you want to, actually, the question is, do you want to be regretting? Do you want to be, do you want to live your life filled with regret? Or, do you want to live your life saying that on your deathbed, you're going to be like, oh yes, I got to do it all, right? So for me, I would say it's just to never, ever give up. You will go through many challenges, many obstacles, but that's just a part of it. But then the thing is, the sweetest part of it is if you stuck through it, you will come out a winner. So as long as you don't give up on yourself, there will, the day will come that you will come on top, and then you will, you will just kind of just laugh it off that, you had to, you can laugh at all the challenges that that you got to overcome, that you got to win over, just because you stay strong. You know how they say, you have to be bigger than your challenges. So don't let it overcome you. You be the bigger person and just stomp on your problems, stomp on your challenges. Any obstacles, you can overcome them.
Awesome. And that's a great tip. Love it. Thanks so much for sharing that. And Mhay, if our listeners want to connect with you or get to know a little bit more of what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Well, I do have a website. They can visit yourdreamsareworthit.com. That's my main website. That's, I post my blogs there. And also they can connect with me on Facebook. I do have a fan page. It's facebook.com/yourdreamsareworthit. And they can also subscribe to me on YouTube. I have my account. It's called Happy, Healthy, Wealthy Mom. So, and also they can follow me on Instagram. It's, /Mhay Tuazon.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Mhay, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Mhay's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Mhay for taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
Oh, and thank you so much, too, for taking the time to listen to my story.
Not a problem. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us on another episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about today, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more. Subscribe to The Tao of Self-Confidence on iTunes or Stitcher to hear more stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence.